A+ലേക്കുള്ള വഴി ഇനി തനിയെ തുറക്കാം. Subscribe to the Enclaps channel. Ring the bell button and open success. It's that easy.
Hi. Have you heard about the security forces in the borders who protect our life and property? These security guards prevent and protect us from all the endangering factors which may cause threat to our life. A safety fuse is one such device used to protect our life and property in the event of excess current flowing in the circuit. How does this fuse ensure our safety? When do we face such a risk of excess current? We know that in order to prevent shock, wires are having a shield of insulation or a plastic over it. In some cases, it might be lost and would cause a great risk when they collide. Did you see the bulb glowing here? When a copper wire is connected between the points X and Y parallel to the bulb, a very low path of resistance is created. Now, the current does not flow to the bulb. Due to the low resistance in the circuit, the current is increased and the wires get heated up, which can lead to fire. Have you ever seen a situation like this? When the wires in the main circuit comes into contact, a spark is being generated. There is high current and low resistance in this path. Such situation is called a short circuit. That is, when the positive terminal and the negative terminal of a battery or the wires in a main circuit comes into contact without the presence of resistance in between them, they are said to be a short circuit. One more question. What would you do if your teacher asks you to do 20 assignments a day? It's an overload. There is a limit that we can afford. Similarly, in a circuit, we cannot operate many devices simultaneously. There is a limit to that. And what happens if we run it anymore? If multiple devices are connected to the circuit using multiple pin, socket or any other means, as seen here, the current will increase drastically. This is called as overloading, which means the device consumes more power than a circuit can handle. Excess current flow through the circuit is happening in two situations, that is a short circuit or overloading. This excess current flow can damage the electric appliances in our home and also cause spark and shock to the people using it. A safety fuse is a device used to protect our equipments in such a situation. The main part of a safety fuse is a fuse wire. A fuse wire must be connected in series to the circuit. It is a combination of tin and lead, which has a low melting point. When a short circuit comes, the fuse wire would break and burst. Because of the power outage, there is no more accident. Even if overloading occurs, the fuse wire would melt and burst. So, why is it called as a safety fuse? If current in the circuit increases because of the short circuit or overloading, according to Joule's law, more heat is being generated, and due to the low melting point, then the fuse wire will melt and burst. Thus, protect the devices and the person using it. That is why it is called a safety fuse, because they ensure safety. Let us now understand some more features of a fuse wire used in a fuse. What is the relation between the resistance and the thickness of a conductor wire? We've already learned that as the thickness increases, the resistance would decrease. When the resistance decreases, the current through it would increase. A particular amount of electricity reaches our home. Therefore, a certain thickness of conductor should be used as a fuse wire in proportion to this passage. That is, the thickness of the fuse wire should be proportional to the amount of the current it transmits. The capacity of the conductor wire is known by another name depending upon the current it transmits, that is amperage. For example, The amperage of the fuse wire carrying up to 5 ampere current is 5A. So what would be the thickness of the fuse wire in order to allow more current to flow through it? It would be thicker. While selecting a fuse wire, we will use a term to indicate the thickness or the diameter, and this is a gauge. A gauge is inverse to the diameter of the conductor. So what happens to the gauge when the diameter decreases? It would increase, isn't it? So natural. As the thickness of the fuse wire decreases, the current decreases and the gauge increases. If so, how can we relate the amperage and the gauge? As the gauge increases, the thickness of the conductor and the amperage decreases. At present, we are learning about the safety fuse. Have you ever tried to tie a fuse wire which is broken? There are few things that we have to pay attention in such a situation. Let's see what are they. The ends of the fuse wire should be fixed firmly at the apt position. Do not push the fuse wire out of the carrier base. Use a fuse wire with a specific amperage. The fuse wire must be connected to the circuit in series. Now we have understood a lot of things which is useful in our everyday life. See you with the next topic.
3 ലക്ഷത്തിലേറെ വരുന്ന ചോദ്യോത്തരങ്ങൾ ഏറ്റവും കുറഞ്ഞ ചിലവിൽ സ്വന്തമാക്കുവാൻ ഉടൻ തന്നെ ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യൂ എൻക്ലാപ്സ് ദ ലേണിംഗ് ആപ്പ്.